Hey, y'all. Hey, welcome to the PowerWomen podcast. This is the show where powerful women share their journeys, discuss how to solve powerful issues, and empower men who help us rise. I'm your host, Power Mom, Claire Brown. Hey, y'all. Hey, we have Brandi Jo Newman today, and I cannot wait for everybody to get to know Brandi Jo the way I know Brandi Jo. So, hey, Brandi Jo.
Hey, Claire.
Tell everybody, I'm so great today. Tell everybody, who is Brandi Jo Newman?
Well, I'm not going to share my original intro with you in Austin, Texas, but
no, we're going to talk about that. So you just keep going.
God bless.
Well, it's the best.
That's the way that I introduce myself, or the way that I text people, is that I'm Brandi Jo with an exclamation point. So, welcome to the Brandi Jo Show. I met Claire in Austin, Texas. We were at an NLP weekend workshop thing, and I just knew that she was my people, and I was there to try to figure out how to talk to my clients a little bit better and get my points across. So, so I could do a little bit more business and do a little bit more good for them. My business is financial planning, retirement services, and that sounds really boring, but I do make it fun.
You do. You make life fun.
I try. I get it honest.
Yes, you do. We were getting to know one another, and I don't meet strangers, and neither do you. And immediately you were telling me about yourself, and you immediately disclosed to me that you were a lesbian Republican.
Yes.
Immediately off the get-go. Yeah. And I was very shocked.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's in some circles, it's a little bit of an anomaly, but I like to say that I'm a conservative. I actually left the Republican Party last year because it is such a cluster. But still voting with the little R's, and you know, to each their own.
But your response to me, I said, so you said, you know, I'm a lesbian Republican, and I said, really? Just shockingly. I said, how is that?
How do you calculate that? How does that actually come to be? Yeah.
And your response was what?
Well, I'm not.
Oh, you can't say it now?
No, it's all you. Remember, in my podcast, you said it. I did not say it. You said it. You shared with the world.
Oh, I didn't say it. You said it to me. You said, yes. Oh, yeah, Donald Trump and I have a lot in common. We both love to grab pussy. Yeah. And I was like, well, okay. I can see that. I understand. Yep. Okay.
I have, I've always been accused, rightfully so, of being overtly direct.
Yes, very much so, which I can receive.
Yeah, there's no gray area. What you see is
not
what
with
you get.
Brandi Jo. Yep, exactly. Which I really appreciated.
After
that, I was like, yeah, she is my people. Yeah, she is my people.
Even though we're on opposite sides of the aisle.
That's correct. We are on opposite sides of the aisle for the most part, and I don't go to Lady Town. I am not a lesbian.
Well,
you say that like it's a question.
You know, I'll have to say, you know, and what's funny is that now that I am back in, you know, full-blown financial services mode and rebuilding a team here in San Antonio, you know, of course, I'm out, I'm networking, all that kind of stuff. And I've had some ladies that are just a little bit older than me saying, you know what, I was single for a long time, and I actually thought about batting for the same team. Because they got to a point where they were like, there are no men. And the only thing that men want is somebody younger than them. Mm. But when they finally gave it up, you know, a man shows up. So that's the way that works.
It is the way that works. Yeah, I get it.
I actually I played golf with a gal that it was obnoxious the way that she got into her, I would say, sexuality. And at the time I was not categorically gay, but was just like, it's not, she did not have the perception that to each their own, because I'm one of these people that, just do whatever the hell you want to do.
Yeah.
Just don't bother me with it.
Right.
Yeah. I have another friend. Well, I'm not sure if she's a friend anymore. Anyway, but she had the best saying, don't let your shit wash up on my shore.
Yeah.
And that's just kind of
Mm-hmm.
that's one of the newest, I guess,
Phrases, taglines you're
well,
using.
I guess phrases are actually like every day I'm looking for people that don't have a lot of shit that can wash up on my shore.
Yeah. 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 Or they can own it and take care of it.
Exactly. Take care of your own shit. And that's why I like you. I mean, you got shit going on and you got good shit and you're doing good shit and making good shit. That's a lot of shits.
It's a lot of shit. It's
Yeah.
always going to be a lot of shit. I try to juggle it, manage it, own it, all the things, but inevitably I'm going to drop a ball somewhere with that juggle. It's just a matter of if it's going to bounce or if it's going to break.
And if you own it. Man,
Yeah, I'm going
I
to own
screw
it no
up
matter
all the
what.
time, and I'm just not afraid to screw up anymore. And I guess that's
No.
what happens when you get to a certain age or you get to a certain position in your career, that you just don't really give a shit that you
No.
have screwed up and it's going from one failure to the next.
Yeah. Well, my phrase this year has been "fuck off." Believe it or not, little known fact about me, I do needlepoint and handiwork
No, you
in my
don't.
downtime.
Are you
I know.
serious?
I swear, yeah. I've done all my children's stockings. In
That's
fact, I will
crazy.
show you something I've picked up right now. It's some Golden Girls needlework that I'm
Oh
doing
my
actually,
God.
and I've ordered a pillow with the pattern that says "fuck off" on it, so that I'm needlepointing that from my dining room. So that's the first thing you see when you come in my house.
Well, it's funny. I was teaching golf last year in my little, I guess, midlife reset. And there was a lady that I was teaching, Terry. And we would practice Fun Sock Friday. Claudia would go to the gym, and all the guys and gals at the gym, they do Fun Sock Friday. And then so I started doing Fun Sock Friday, and she was off on a trip somewhere, and she found these socks with these cute little kittens on them. Cute little kittens and like bees and birds and whatever. And in cursive, it says "fuck off." Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. Fuck off
Yes.
Friday Fun Socks.
Hmm. I like that. I need
Yeah,
those.
I'm gonna find those
So
and send them to you.
you just tapped on what I want to talk about.
Okay.
You were a golf pro, a golf coach, traveled the country doing this, very successful in this. You may not look at
Mm,
it like that, and that
well, it's
is
well. Just to clarify, in my 20s, I played golf on various tours. I went around the world twice. Had a big time. And then that was when I was 29. My attitude and injuries caught up with me, and the competition kept getting younger and foreigner.
yeah.
So yeah, East
Yeah,
Texas
I
gals,
know.
like, who are these other people coming in here? Anyway,
Uh, just come to Arkansas.
right,
You'll
throw gold
feel
in the
really
rock,
good.
same thing. I did that for close to 8 years, and then I built a pretty successful financial services firm with two different general agencies. And then in 2016, um, I took a little reset and decided that I wasn't going to work for a little while, given the fact that I had been so successful. And I taught golf
Yep.
locally. I did not
Yep.
go around the country
Okay.
teaching, but I did go around the country playing with my wife.
Yes.
We had a big time for about 5 years. And
Mhm.
now it's back to what my mother calls the real world.
Mhm.
So I still don't have a real job. I build this business. I help people grow their money. I help people not run out of money. And hopefully I inspire people to get better and have more and to be more. But um, in the last 5 years, golf was basically just a way for me to not lay around on the couch and do nothing. But I did some good work with some people, because you go online and you go to my Google reviews for my golf coaching, and it's the same exact Google reviews when they were reviewing my financial services firm. It's like, Brandi Jo is not a financial advisor, she's not a financial planner, she's not a golf coach, she's a life coach. And I cannot get away from that for some reason.
Right. Because your business will grow to the extent that you do.
Yes. Yes.
And
And
what you're doing
I've always had this humongous, cavernous growth mindset that gets me in all kinds of trouble. All kinds of trouble. And my wife, who is admittedly and observantly a fixed mindset. So it's yin and yang in the Newman Ramirez household. Ramirez, sorry.
That's okay. Yes, and so what you're doing though is you're helping others grow mentally, spiritually, in order for them to then grow with an abundance in their mindset, to then grow abundantly monetarily, or
Right.
abundantly with their game, whatever that may be. You're helping them have breakthroughs to then ultimately break through with success in the area they choose.
That is not the intent, but that's the way that it just kind of comes out. It's an innate, natural process with me.
It's a gift.
Thank you.
Yes.
I'll take it. It.
Yes. Yeah. And so, what is it? How does that happen? What can we learn? What can we do? How can I get? What do I need to unpack in me to make me rich?
Vision.
Okay.
You got to know what you want your life to look like. Money isn't money. I mean, money is pieces of paper on a table, granted, but money is a tool. It's a tool to get and to build exactly the life that you want. And some people have a block with money, and I'll just break it down. Some people will get money and it doesn't take them 30 days to get rid of it. And it's because they don't have a system that they can put each and every dollar into. And it's not to say that each and every dollar goes to something and goes away from them, but it's a way for them to use that money to have a better life. I actually wrote this down last night. What is it that you want to do with your money? And most financial advisors out there are talking to people about, how much do you want to risk in order to get your money to grow? That's not the deal. And what I was just, saying earlier to Darren was, the return on spending money it's incalculable. The joy and the experience that you get using that money to have that experience it's immeasurable. Right. You cannot put a rate of return on it. You can't put a percentage point on it.
Right. And so what is it that gets in people's way? Why do we have so much debt in this country?
For lifestyle choices, consumerism, and always trying to, and I shouldn't say always, but I will say this, most of the people that come to me with debt, what they're trying to do is that they're trying to live a certain lifestyle in order to keep up with somebody else. So Instagram, social media, all of that doesn't do a good job, because it seems like it just comes so easy to some people, and some people it does. Some people don't have a block with money, but the people that they spend in order to be happy, those are the people that they need to have a better relationship with money in regards to valuing themselves first and not things at all. And so you can get into the conversation of, having money, being rich, and being wealthy. Being wealthy is where you get to decide. You get to decide to do anything that you want to do within reason. But I think most people that are in debt and cannot see a way out of it. They have made not the dollars or the money that they make their God, they've made things their God. And so therefore they're never going to get out from under that debt that they've built up. And not the flip side, but the same side of the coin is that they get a dopamine hit every time they spend something.
Right.
I get a dopamine hit every time I'm looking at an opportunity and I'm deploying my capital into an opportunity,
right.
knowing that within sometimes a week, sometimes within 6 months, sometimes within a year, 10 years, that money is going to be at least 3 to 10x what it was when I put it into that something.
Yep.
And once you get somebody on I call it on a roll, they'll get on a roll to where they're just basically taking this money and rolling it into things that not only do they enjoy watching and experiencing and being part of something that they're building, but also they're going to get a dopamine rush from being responsible and having that wherewithal to do well with their money. Because it's the same dopamine hit. It's just a different one. I mean, and I'll say this is probably a horrible example, but this is my experience growing up, is that alcoholics, drug abusers, they go through recovery and they find God. It's the same dopamine. It's the same hit. They're just getting it from a much healthier source. And so when it comes to spending money, they're getting that dopamine hit. But let's get the dopamine hit by actually making sure that the money flows back to you. Because when you spend money, you are just sending it away to somebody else. Somebody smarter than you.
So what I'm hearing you say is that you engage the investor.
Yes, but many of the people that I work with, they are not considered investors. They are considered workers and spenders, and I have to get them into an investment mindset. Just like this morning, one of my referral partners, she sends me a text and says that her broker spends X amount of dollars on marketing a month. Marketing isn't an expense. So I turn around and I say he invests this amount a month, because the amount of money that he's investing in his business on a 30-day basis,
right,
he is getting 12 times that money back every 30 days.
Well worth the investment.
How can you say that someone is spending that money?
Yeah, it's not an expense.
Right. So it takes, what I'm trying to do is meet people where they are. And just like last week, I talked to 55 teachers, and it was a quick, give them tacos, appreciate them, in and out, $100 gift card for the raffle. Here we go. And the 5 teachers that I kind of gravitated towards, all of them had the same question: how do I get out of debt?
Yeah.
And my one question to them is your debt from things, or is your debt from capital? Because there's a difference between capital debt and spending debt. And 3 out of the 5 said capital. I want to pay off my house. That's a completely different type of person than the other 2 that were sitting there and saying, well, I have, $15,000 in credit card bills.
Yeah.
I can get someone out of debt, completely out of debt, consumer debt, within 3 years. But that person is looking at that 3 years and saying, oh my God, I have to basically go on a spending diet, yes, for 3 years. And it really depends on how much there is. On average, people who come to me with debt issues, with what I consider to be just spending habits, we've got to change those spending habits. And it's not lattes, and it's not getting your nails done, and it's not not sending your kid to soccer camp.
Yeah.
It's bigger issues than that.
Mm-hmm.
And usually it has to do with classification of taxes, how you are doing your taxes, and then also how you are taking in your income.
Yeah, these are
The
big
biggest
things.
expense any American has is taxes. Most of us spend, and I say most of us, the 99% that are not considered the 1%, they're spending 65 cents for every dollar in some sort of tax. And if I can cut that in half,
Mm-hmm.
that's 30% right there to the bottom line.
Right. It's huge.
And it takes a little bit to feel that, but it's significant over 10, 20, 30 years.
Absolutely. And these are things that I don't know about. Most of us don't know about. We don't know tax structures. We don't know how to look at it.
Right.
You know, we don't know how to dive into that. I mean, I only know April 15th.
Come on, Claire. You know October 15th, not April.
Yes. Yes.
See? That right there.
Mm-hmm.
That right there is the biggest difference.
Yeah.
And are you filing in January or are you filing in October?
Right.
Well, how in the hell can I file in October? Those are things.
Right.
The difference between the 99% and the 1% is that the 99% does not know what the 1% knows.
That's right.
And so I'm in that little area between the 1% and the 99%. Because I am part of the 1%.
Right. I was talking to a friend the other day, and she's in the nonprofit sector, so she's never been in the for-profit sector to understand the taxes on that side. And now she's going into that side saying, I had no idea all these write-offs and all the things. And I'm like, it's a whole lot different.
Yeah.
And she's like, I've got to get
I'm starting to
around
work with a nonprofit down here to try and get them more money. And at first the conversation started with corporate sponsorship, but it's like, no, we just need to go to people with money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just anybody with money. Because
people, and I'll say this, in the 0.01% of the 100% of the other 1%.
Yeah.
And I'll say this with a little bit of a caveat, their initial financial planning when they come into money, their advisor is showing them how to give it away. And nonprofits are the first one that they look to.
Oh, sure. Oh, sure.
How do we enjoy it and give it away?
Mm-hmm. You know, we have more 501(c)(3)s per capita than anywhere else in the country here in Central Arkansas.
Really?
Mm-hmm. We are a community of givers, honey.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Very interesting.
That is interesting.
Yes.
I always wonder about that.
Mm-hmm. I know.
Like, what is the catalyst for that, right?
Well, we got a lot of issues, and everybody's got a solution.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Well, I go to the opposite end of that, thinking, who is putting these nonprofits together because they've got to get rid of money?
No.
See, I'm on the flip side of that.
There is a lot of that. There's also a lot of, it's just good-hearted servant leadership. Saying, I see an issue, let's find a solution and make it happen. We just have a lot of that here. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyways.
You know what? I mean, we don't want to have a little downturn in our conversation, but I would probably equate San Antonio to Little Rock in, some degree in terms of just the
River City. That's it.
Well, yeah, that too. Not the needy, but the disadvantaged and the uninformed. Like, I always say that people are uninformed. I mean, they have no knowledge of how to do the thing that is going to give them the most benefit.
Right. We don't know what we don't know. And that's the case in everything. And so, and we see that in the PowerWomen group. Women will go in there and post and say, I'm starting my own business, but where do I start?
Yeah.
And where do I go? And because of the nonprofit plethora here, we have that already started. People can go here to learn to start their business. all these
Good.
things.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
I've actually been starting to do some coaching. Um, and it's not, I wouldn't say that it's coaching. I would just say that it's more accountability.
Well, that's
Um,
the key to a good coach.
yes, because, when it comes to getting people out of debt, like my realtor referral partners
Mm-hmm.
and my mortgage referral partners, they like my very quick online course of how do I get out of debt.
Okay.
And it's NLP behavioral change.
Yes.
Um, and it's not going to happen in 2 to 6 weeks. It's going to happen over that.
Right.
I mean, I've seen some people get down and gritty with it in 6 months. I've seen some people sell everything that they have. They've gone to that extreme because that debt just really rides on them.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've seen some in 3 to 5 years, and then they have a complete and total financial reset, and here we go. And I have met with them on average every other week. Show me your cash flow statement. Show me your credit cards. Let's look at your tax structure now. What is the tax going to be? When we take this money and we
Right.
deploy it over here. It's more about that accountability, because when somebody says that they want to do something, are you serious,
Right.
or any of that? And the other thing is that I don't charge for this. It just kind of comes with the territory, and it's also a little bit of altruism. It's my way of giving back, because I've figured it out. And the bottom line is that people they've automatically changed their behaviors based on just knowing that they're doing something good for themselves first, and then that self-worth, that level goes up. And then they pass it on.
Yes.
The and when somebody says that they're going to do something, and then I say I can help, and they say okay, you can help, and then they don't follow through, with just basically following a list of items.
Yeah.
It's almost detrimental to the relationship, because I'm now invested. I am invested in what it is that you want to build.
Yes.
And I am delaying my compensation. I am delaying my other clients for this particular person. And it's like, what are we doing here? Are we just trying to make ourselves feel better in the little bit of time that we're together, or are we actually trying to build something?
And so
that building, that what you've done, you've built an incredible community that is worth a lot of money. There's some value there that is extreme, in my opinion.
Well, and it's like I've been in coaching now for almost 8 years. And I've had 16 different coaches. And so, for not all individual one-on-one coaching, but just different group coaching, individual coaching, all that. But yes, I do appreciate different perspectives a lot. And it's because I'm a squirrel, it is hard to keep me grounded and hold me accountable. It is the biggest challenge for some of my coaches.
But is it accountability, or is it just okay? I've not tick it off, but okay, I have this kind of going.
No,
like
it's
a couple of months ago. Okay,
it's accountability. Okay, it's accountability. I mean,
like 3 months ago, I started a 50+ dating service, matchmaking dating service. I did it with absolutely zero money. And
we talked about this. I didn't know you actually did it though.
People, because it was basically just put the infrastructure together, put make sure that it's available.
Yeah.
Make sure that these people are not crazy.
Well, good luck with that.
And they go.
What's that, screening?
Well, right. And they've got to pay for that. And it's, and we do events to where you get to meet these people. And there's always 2 people that are there that they are featured, and it's true matchmaking, and it grows my business. It gets me exposure, and hopefully it makes a couple of people happy.
Yeah. I think it's great. They need a
But
book
that,
to go with
but that right there was just following a script.
Right.
There was a recipe book for doing that, and
Yeah.
we're building it very slowly and very quietly, and then maybe one day we'll franchise it.
Well, they need a book to go along with that.
They do.
Yeah. I happen to know
They
one.
do. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know a very good one.
Uh-huh. The author should
my
come.
friend Ashley, she read, I got those 5 from my girlfriends, and she really enjoyed it.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
I don't know
author
if
should
she's dating
come.
anyone right now. I haven't talked to her in a couple months, but she enjoyed it.
Good. Yeah. I had a coach one time. There was somebody that we had a mutual friend with on Facebook who was infamous for doing these Facebook Live coaching things and all this stuff. And it just grated on my nerves. It drove me crazy. And I was just like,
Okay.
I would screenshot them and I would send them to my coach just as a joke in the evenings, like, hey, it's time again, whatever. And we would make fun. It was funny. It was late night entertainment for me. And so the next week on our call to hold me accountable, she was like, if you don't get your homework done, you've got to do a Facebook Live saying how much you love and adore him and how great he is and how much value you get from his Facebook Lives every week and and I was like, oh my God.
That is some reverse gratitude bullshit.
Yeah. So the pleasure and the pain just really, but let me tell you, I got it all done. The motivation, the accountability on that. There was another one.
Right.
Another time I had a heavy load and I needed to get some stuff done and I just wasn't pulling it out. Coach said, I'm going to need a check from you written out to so-and-so who I also didn't like. And I need you to send it to him if you don't get all your homework done this next week. And it was a large check.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
So that coach knew exactly what triggered you.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Triggered you in a good way.
Yeah. If you make me send money or say good things to people I don't like, it is going to make me. Oh.
Yeah.
I will drive
get on with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Get it done.
And there was another one.
That's very interesting. I like that.
My very first coach, one of the most effective coaches I've ever had, Shannon Steer. I'll never forget. I give her all the credit in the world. She was like, you cannot go on another date until you get 3 listings. No more dating. Because this was when I was first single. I didn't know anything.
I remember you went on a date in Austin when I first met you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, now, yes, but no. I mean, it wasn't a date.
Right. But yeah, I mean, you were a serial dater there for
yes,
a
I
while.
was.
Yeah.
A serial first dater.
Yes.
I didn't do second dates. And then I just didn't date.
What's the point?
Yeah, it was just like, I know what I want. I've got a list. Not necessarily a list, but it's just like, I can sum you up real quick with the amount of training I've had.
Wow.
Yeah, dating me is scary to most.
So the coach, you were dragging ass, basically. Mm-hmm. And the coach knew what lit you up, which was meeting somebody new and being romanced. Mm-hmm. And you can't go on another date until you get 3 listings. Mm-hmm. So how did you get the listings?
I just got on my phone.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I swear, just right here. This thing right here is our business.
It is my Mary Poppins phone. I have got so much in this phone. It's like Mary Poppins' bag. You know how she kept pulling stuff out?
Okay.
I have got one of everybody in this thing.
Yeah.
It is my Mary Poppins phone.
I love it. I love it.
Everything in there will go down. Everything in there will go down with a spoonful of sugar, but I swear.
Well, that's what you're going to make him feel like, at least.
It's sugar sweet, darling.
Love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. So, how did I know that NLP was transformational for you?
It was that ho ho ono pono
Oponopono.
pono. Yes,
Oponopono.
that was the deal, and it was that was 20, correct?
Yeah. We met
That was
we met at the beginning of February 2020, right
yes,
before COVID shut down.
right before COVID. So we were all normal,
So far.
right? At that point,
Uh-huh.
the at that time it was only in China,
Right?
and I started I started meditation, like seriously daily meditation, August, no, 17. And then I got seriously into it in August of 19.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I found David G., my meditation teacher.
Mm-hmm.
And then when, you know, you're flipping through Instagram, I got to that NLP training through an Instagram ad.
Oh.
And then come to find out, so I go and I had sent David G. a handwritten note in like October, November, because I had just watched his Insight Timer. I was on a live. I did some course that he had on Insight Timer, and I was like, this is the guy. So I sent him a handwritten note, and I believe in November, and then started studying and reading all of his books, and then that NLP came about, and I was like, I'm going to go to this. Mm-hmm. And then come to find out, I actually talked to him about a month and a half later, mm-hmm. and he married, who was the guy?
Dr.
The Hawaiian
Matt.
dude?
Dr. Matt.
Okay, so Matt and Trish were married at one point.
I don't know.
He married them.
Oh.
But now they're divorced.
Yes.
He performed their ceremony.
Oh, wow.
Is that not weird?
So weird.
I mean, that's the whole energy thing.
Yeah, small world.
That's the woo-woo right there.
It's
the woo-woo. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's the woo-woo.
Crazy.
It is crazy. Well, I signed up and I went to it, not understanding really what it was, evidently. I'd get there and start talking to you, and you said, I can't wait till our hands talk to each other. And I thought, what the hell is she talking about?
That was in the manual.
I didn't get that. And I was like, our hands aren't going to talk to each other. And sure enough, they did.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was super cool.
Yeah. So can I ask who showed up at your forgiveness Ho'oponopono ceremony?
Yeah. It was the men that raped me.
Fuck. Mm-hmm. It's just terrible.
It is just terrible.
Claire, I'm so sorry.
Well, you asked.
And so I'm sorry.
I said, well, you asked.
Well, I mean, yes.
Yes.
I never asked, I knew that was happening.
But here's what's fantastic.
Okay.
So we met there at that workshop, and I was in process of just processing so much and writing. And after that, I realized that I needed a lot more. And I went through a breakthrough weekend with an NLP coach and didn't realize, even though that's who showed up in my forgiveness exercise of who I needed to forgive in my life. And when I say I needed to forgive, I needed it for me. Not that rape victims need that for themselves. That's their own choice and decision.
Right.
And so, anyways, I recognized that I was, first of all, I got writer's block. And I'm in the middle of editing and writing, and I can't have this. This is not going to work. So I reach out to Mandy, who I've coached with before. She's one of the trainers now in NLP and tours with them. And so I did a weekend of breakthrough work with her. And that's all that came up was all of my sexual trauma of the two men that had raped me. So we finished the session on Sunday. Tuesday, I get a Facebook message from the one that was 25 years ago in high school. He does not have a Facebook or any social media profiles. Created the
Uh-huh.
message just to reach out to me and apologize and ask for forgiveness.
Isn't that, see, that's universe. That's
So
universe. That's
powerful.
God. That's the way
Yes.
that it's supposed to be.
So powerful. And by doing the hard work, I was then in a place that I was able to receive it
Mm-hmm.
and say, thank you. I
Mm-hmm.
needed this. And
Mm-hmm.
this is something so many women don't receive, don't have the privilege to get. And so then that wound was able to be healed.
Yeah.
And then I was able to write about it freely. And my
Mm-hmm.
writing just poured after that. It was incredible.
Do you find that most people, when just like you asked me about, you know, the debt issues and spending issues with my clients, that they're doing that for a reason. They're doing that to get over some sort of trauma.
It's
That
a
is not
it's
my
a
level.
numbing. It's a numbing.
Right.
Uh-huh.
And that is not my, that's not my place, you know, but I give them tools, I give them resources.
Mhm.
Do you find that just some people just can't get through it? That they
Yeah.
can't do that hard work to
Yeah.
get to that level that they want to get to?
Mhm. I see it in housing.
Yeah. I mean, I see it in golf,
Mhm.
money, family.
I mean, when we walk into people's homes are a reflection of who they are and where they
Mhm.
are in life. And so when you talk about, are there some people that just can't get through it? Yes, that's when they're a hoarder. That's when I have the tunnels or the rooms that I just can't even get in. They just can't get through it. And that's when it gets to be too much. That's when they walk away. That's when a family member has to intervene because they can no longer. So, yeah,
Mhm.
there are those. Hmm.
So what's the answer? How do we get them to, how do we get them to the first step?
So, I think it's fear that holds people back. I think it's fear
Mhm.
of the pain. Because their memory is the pain that they went through and they fear going back to revisit it, that they're going to remember, they're going to relive all that pain all over again.
Mhm.
And my experience is that you don't relive all the pain all over again. You just don't. You can't.
Mhm.
Thank goodness you can't, because you've self
Right.
protected in ways that your subconscious won't ever let you know. um, but then you have to ask yourself, which is better, or is it worth it
Mhm.
to do this hard work, and experience a little bit more pain, or to experience greatness and wonderfulness?
Well, that hard work is working, is that hard work is dismantling it.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, taking it apart,
Mm-hmm.
seeing what role, you know,
Mm-hmm.
we played in
Right.
the act of whatever this
Mm-hmm.
was, of whatever this trauma.
Yep. Owning your
And
shit,
then,
like we talked about.
right, and then just the letting it go.
Mm-hmm.
And it depends on, I think it depends a lot on personality
Mm-hmm.
types.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of, like, I'm ENTP. I can make a decision and it's done, but I have to make the decision in line with the next decision to get it done. I
Mm-hmm.
just can't say, okay, here it is, it's done. I
Mm-hmm.
have to go through the process of breaking it down and then building myself back up to let it go, to have
Interesting.
that strength. It's hard.
It is hard. And the
Yeah.
thing is that we're always changing. And so we're always going to bring up more stuff. And so
Hmm.
there's always going to be something else to work through.
Hmm. Well, yeah, life would be boring, wouldn't it?
Oh, well, I can't say that mine has ever been.
No.
No.
But just think if you had all of your shit organized and that, you know, you didn't have to deal with a bunch of stuff. And I think that's what some people's idea of either being rich or wealthy, or, you know, some sort of point in time where they are retired or whatever, is that they think, you know, all their problems are just
Mm.
figuring out what they're going to do for the day.
My observation, not necessarily my experience, because I'm not there. My observation is the more money, the more issues, and the
Mm-hmm.
more to manage.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If there's not a system.
Mm-hmm. Even with a system, you're still managing more systems,
But it gives you
more leverage.
right,
Yeah.
yes. But and it's not even the system, because most people aren't even following a system. And it's the
Mm-hmm.
system. What I'm talking about is just having just some sort of an idea of the way that you want it to go. But I think people go way beyond what they're
Mm-hmm.
capable of.
Yeah,
No,
absolutely.
and knowing like whatever their happiness level is now, or whatever their self-worth, whatever they believe their self-worth
Mm-hmm.
is that instead of just going a little bit, going from here to here, they want to go from here to here.
Yeah.
And that's the bullshit. This is the bullshit space right
Well,
here.
it's also like that reminds me of how married persons compare their life to single persons, and single persons compare their life to married persons. The grass is always greener. We want happiness or whatever that is. Whatever we perceive that. It's a perception, because our perceptions are our realities. And so whatever you perceive happiness to be or whatever, you know, is more than likely a lie. Because when and if
Yes.
you achieve it, you're going to recognize it's going to come along with a stack of bullshit that you still have to tote around on your back that your back's not prepared to carry.
And that you know nothing about.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
therefore there's a whole other mess of
Mm-hmm.
doubt and anxiety that you have to deal with.
Right.
So yeah.
Yes. So, what other world problems can we solve today?
Well, can we just kind of bookend here?
Yes.
It's that vulnerability factor. I mean, people are not equipped to be genuine with themselves, much less to other people.
Yeah.
And that being genuine lends itself to being vulnerable. Admitting the bullshit that you created in your past life. So
Brene Brown, I call her Mother Brene because, she's
mm-hmm.
my mother. She just doesn't know it. And I know she's coming to spend Christmas with me one year.
Yeah.
And I'm in the will. I am certain of that.
Okay.
But Mother Brene says vulnerability is our greatest strength.
Yes.
And it is our connectivity to the world. And it is our connectivity to others. And until we just choose to utilize it, then we're nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And it is the courage that you're speaking about that is required in order to step in fiercely to conversations, in order to be vulnerable.
Well, just getting to that first step of feeling how courageous you can be.
Yeah. And it's the fear that holds us back with everything. With everything.
But what is the fear? Like, I don't think I'm afraid of anything frankly, because of the work that I've done.
I'm going to stop that because, frankly, you were afraid to tell this audience about our first meeting and what you said, and you made me say it.
There are certain things that can remain between two people in a private way.
Oh, no.
I am still Brandi Jo Badass that loves Trump and other things that Trump and I love together.
Yes. But our vulnerability shows us that how you show up here is how you show up everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I don't have the fear of being vulnerable with my elderly neighbor outside and talking to him about pussy aerobics. I have no fear of that. Or to talk to you about it here.
Right. Right.
He
But
would
then
probably,
there is a certain level of what my mother says, which is appropriateness and how that should be um,
well, and my response to mother,
measured, measured,
my response to Mama
measured
Newman,
level of
listen,
appropriateness.
my response to Mama Newman is
It's Mama
this
Joe.
Mama
It's Mama Joe.
Joe. Mama
Yes.
Joe is that, what was appropriate in 1950 is very different than what's appropriate in 2023.
Yeah. Well, actually, Mama Joe was born in 1950, and she actually lived through the flower child era, but she was not a flower child. She would work and go to Reagan's and build up her wardrobe every Friday. And then she took it from Reagan's to Dillard's and now to Neiman's.
This does not surprise me that you came from that.
No.
Not at all. Yeah. I don't
So
know.
we need to get together in person. I was telling Darren this earlier, is that, I just need to fly up there to Little Rock.
I agree. But until then, I so appreciate you sharing your time with us, all your wisdom and your hilarity. And how can people find you, especially this course online of how to get debt free? How can our listeners and viewers find that?
BrandiJoNewman.com. It's my full name. It's Brandi with an I, and it's just Joe, J-O, Newman, Newman.com. You can just Google me, and it is right there, and you can sign up. And I do. The thing about it is that there's 67% of Americans don't have a financial advisor. And it's because most of the time they are afraid to admit that they have done stupid things with their money, and because they think they're going to be judged. And all I know is that the system that we live in, the financial system that we live in, they have set it up for us to make very bad decisions. And I'm here to try and change that. One person, one family at a time.
Love it. Thank you so much for helping others
Claire.
at such a high level.
Always fun.
Always. Thank you so much for listening. If you like the show, please rate and review on iTunes and check out our website, thepowerwomen.org.